Welcome back, troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. We've got kind of an interesting Gibson ES-339 to talk about today. This one was listed a few weeks ago on Reverb by the guitar broker down in Florida. And he titled this one Gibson ES-339 Figured 2018. See-through foam green with a crazy quilted maple top. Let's check this thing out. First things first, I would argue this is more of a flame top, but it's interesting because it appears to all be one piece. Now, the way that these 339s are made, they're basically a shrunken down 335. So think 335, but roughly the same size as a Les Paul, just a hair bigger. These are great for people who aren't super tall, or people who always thought a 335 was just too big for them. Personally, I'm a tall guy, so I'm not a huge fan of this body style. I would rather just have the full thing, but they're great for certain people. But they have the whole maple poplar maple sandwich that makes up the top, back, and sides and all that. So I guess it makes sense that they could have a large piece of maple like that they just sliced up into these nice thin veneers that give you this beautiful figuring. Now, if I were custom ordering a guitar, this would not be the color I would choose, but something about it kind of works. It's got a little bit of a dirtiness to it, like you're at a beach, but at the same time, up here, you get a little bit more of that blue stain. They're kind of calling it like a seafoam color, so I guess there will be a little bit of green also built in with that. But it looks like fairly basic specs. You get individual volume and tone controls for each pickup, a 3-way toggle switch here, ABR1 style bridge with a regular tailpiece, typical giant pickguard right here, and we've got dual F-holes, one's hiding right under here, and we get the old orange style sticker. Now, you guys know me, I wouldn't share something if it just had a nice flame top. That's not special enough to get this thing featured. There's got to be something a little bit more about this one. Is it the really super rosy rosewood fretboard on it? I mean, that just stands out so much as compared to kind of the dull finish on the top. We get these small block inlays that some people like. Other people prefer the dots on these ES-335S guitars. But no, that is not it either. The true beauty and mystery behind this guitar lies on the back. Oh man, this made me fall in love with this guitar because it's so ridiculous. If we swap back over here, it's kind of like a washed out blue color, right? But the back, it's also maple. However, it's got a little bit more blue to it. And there's not really any good photos of the sides of it, but it almost appears it's kind of like a halfway in between each of those. It's got a little bit more blue, kind of like this area on the top, but it's not quite as striking as the back of this one. This is pretty common wood grain structure for these 335S guitars, but this in blue, it just looks fantastic. I like the way it looks. Normally you see this in like a dark walnut color where it hides it, but with the blue, it embraces it. It reminds me of like an old worn in pair of blue jeans or something. But you gotta remember, it's maple that's showing back here as well as on the edges, and you get binding along the top and back. But what's going on with his neck? Why is it green? So there's actually a few different theories here. First off, some finishes look different depending on what wood it is sprayed on top of. Technically, this could be the exact same finish on this guitar, and the more pure white maple color just makes it look like this, and then the dark mahogany makes it look like that. A really good stock example of that is the Gibson Futura, I think 2014 when these things came out. The first time I saw this, I was like, what? Why would Gibson do this? Dark green on the back, light blue here? It's simply because the difference between the maple neck and the mahogany back. So it's not some weird, strange refinish job. So we kind of got the opposite going on here. You get the green neck and the blue body. I think it would have been a nice touch had they had sprayed this over in that blue finish. That way you get the crown that's blue and the Gibson logo that's a light blue, kind of like the Les Paul Goddess series. But what a strange, freaky guitar. I like it. It's enough of an oddball that it gets the pass for me, but I can see why there'd be a lot of people that'd be like, no, don't want it. But it just appears to be billed as a regular 339 figured. And the last mystery about this one actually lies on the back of the headstock. I'm sure this would confuse some people. So our serial number Since this was made in Memphis, they actually kept the old style, so that means it is a 2017 made instrument. However, it says made in USA 2018 on the back. That doesn't mean that they started making this thing in 2017 and didn't finish it till 2018. This is back when the 2018 models came out, I think around like October or something, the year previous. So guitars were like brand new cars at that point. They don't do that anymore now that they ditched the whole model year system. So even though it's a little bit weird and quirky, it is correct. And oh my goodness, why is this wing blue? I really hope that's just like a strange reflection in the light. Maybe that has something to do with this whole finish too. I haven't seen it in person. This guitar is just the gift that keeps on giving mysteries, I guess you could say, but I like it. So how much does this guy want for it? $3,750. Ooh, and $150 shipping. I don't quite fully understand their shipping price. Usually it's not that much. This is the same seller that's selling this Heritage 80 that we were talking about yesterday. $175, what? Crazy. I wonder what their reasoning is behind that. I ship a lot of guitars, and I bet this guy ships even more than I do, and it's rare that anything ever costs that much, even with full insurance. I think they need to get with UPS and set up a nice little business account. And it looks like they're saying in here that it was some sort of a custom order. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, how much is a regular 339 from 2018? Well, it doesn't appear that there's many on the market. I can't actually find an exact 2018, but I guess you gotta remember it's the figure top, so they're definitely looking for some sort of a premium here. So I'll leave that up to you if you want to spend that much on this guitar, but I'll leave a link in the description if you'd like to check out some listings on Reverb and support the channel with your purchases. And we got one more small guitar to look at tonight. And this one is offered by Gary's Classic Guitars in Loveland, Ohio. So this is just a pretty sweet 68 SG standard. There's not much to talk about except for take a look at the figuring of the wood grain here. It's got a little bit of that flame figuring dancing going to it. Sometimes you can find this on modern SGs, like we saw it on that SG Junior that I reviewed, I think within Trade Tuesday. It was a 2018. But this is the first one that I've seen in a while that a vintage SG has it, so that would just be beautiful in person. It's the large guard style. You get the vibrola unit on it, the witch hat knobs. I mean, this is a very classic looking SG. Super giant heel of the neck always looks strange on these guys, but it's part of the quirky charm. But that headstock, that's nearly perfect. Normally, like, the finish like chips off in areas. It starts to look aged in a bad way. But this one, perfect. Absolutely stunning. And it even has nice inlays. Like, come on, guys. If you're looking for a really nice late 60s SG, I don't think you want to look any further than this. This thing looks fantastic. It's in great shape. It appears to even have some nice wood grain figuring. How much does he want? $8,595. Now, Gary, he's a pretty good guy. I've actually met him at some guitar shows back when I used to go to those. But he always prices things to the very top because that's the type of clientele that he serves. If you go to his website, he says serving investors and things like that. And he finds some really nice stuff. But even just looking at what's available right now, honestly, it's not the worst prices compared to some of these other things. I mean, that thing's pretty clean, but he's got a different one here for only $7,000 if you don't necessarily care about the wood figuring. I guess comparing the two of them, I'd just pay an extra $1,500 to get the better condition and the cooler wood. I would say that's definitely an investment grade quality guitar. But you're definitely paying a premium for something that nice. So definitely not one for the player, that's for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to our playing demo. The only question left, would you rock this ES-339 or would you prefer this really cool 68 SG standard? Leave your answer down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.